All right, everybody, it's 8:01. It's the 6th of October, and we are going to talk about all that's going on with the company for fall as kind of a fall kickoff type thing because October is here. April, do you want to say anything first and foremost since she's got a thunderstorm happening near her and she may get kicked off at any point in time? Do you want to touch base on anything in particular first?
No, not that I can think of. Let's just go ahead and jump in. We'll be good.
All right, so I did not do slides for this particular. I thought I would just show you guys where to find all the information that we're going to talk about. So if you have any questions, you can go back through and find it yourself. So let me share my screen and we'll go through that. I think that's more of a hands-on practical kind of thing anyway. So underneath marketing imagery featured this month is the first batch of things that I wanted to talk about. There's a lot of things that are on sale. Now, Pampered Chef does not usually do sale items, but they've been doing that recently. If you guys remember back in July, we had those items that were $49 a piece, the waffle puff pan and a couple of other things. So they have done the same thing this month. So they took the meal starter sets. The set itself is down $25 to $25, so it's $10 off. And then the individual jars are down to $9 a piece. I think this is a very good time to get people to try these. They're actually less expensive than like our regular habanero sauce or a teriyaki sauce or anything like that. So I think it's a good time to get them to try those. And that way they get hooked on them and then they want to reorder. So I think that's a good thing to do with that. And the special with 3 of them for $25 is actually a really good price because it's $27 for the 3 at $9. So that's even a discount over that. So this is a simple, easy picture you can download, but then you can also take it like we've talked about and put it into any other program like Canva or whatever and add a background and add a couple of arrows or however you want to do that. So this is simple, done for us right here. So I like that. The other thing they did also put on sale is the Disney items. So for Christmas, this is a great thing to start talking up holiday shopping. It's here. I'm sorry to say it for some people who are like, oh, no, but it's like it's less than 80 days till Christmas, I think, if you do the math. I think it's like 79 or 78 or something like that. There's people who keep track of it. I know it's getting close. However,
I was really surprised to see these on sale.
I was too, and I'm wondering, I'm not sure the reason behind it because they don't tell me those kind of things, but I think it's really cool because this now puts them in that stocking stuffer category. So people who don't want to buy kitchen stuff as presents, but why not get a ham pancake flipper in your stocking for your kids that are, newly in their apartments or, whatever it happens to be. And it can be a spatula for anything. It doesn't have to be a pancake flipper. It's just cute. And then who doesn't need a scraper all the time? So a forky scraper is pretty cool. So even if they just do those two, that's cheaper than a mix and chop now. So it's a great stocking stuffer type thing. And the pancake set to the whole breakfast set from 45 down to 29, I think is going to tick a lot of people's lists and go on there. So there's another piece for you guys to look at. And then they've got a thing of holiday sets. These holiday sets are really cool. This is not a super huge picture. Let me actually see if I can pull up a bigger one. Give me just a second. You may have storms, but my computer has decided it's not work week yet and doesn't want to do anything.
Because this is so small, I have not really studied this as much as I need to. I'm anxious to see
Give me a second.
what the regular prices are. So,
yeah, I'm pulling up the big one, and then we'll show it full screen. It won't take too long to load. So it shows the jars that we just talked about here at the bottom. It shows the Disney stuff in the middle, and then there's 5 sets that they've put together that are for this holiday season only, and they'll end December 31st. None of them, as far as I know on these, say while supplies last.
We got a black screen.
It's loading. It's just being slow.
Okay. Sorry.
It's just being slow. My computer's not old, but it's just, it's slow.
Well, mine is old and slow.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They don't really last much past a couple years anymore, so that's kind of annoying. All right, so here's the sets. This is a little bit bigger. Hopefully you can see this. Let me see if I can get it any bigger. Here we go.
So the regular price.
So it shows the regular prices on here. So it's $88.50. Normally, if you bought all 3 of these pans and the boat press.
That's a good deal.
So yeah, it is. So that's $75. The wine gift bag set is the gold bag. Champagne is not included. the 3 spoons and the straw spoons as well. And that's only $40, so that's a $4 difference. So not as huge a difference, but it's still kind of a $40 package. It's kind of a done thing. The sheet pan set, all 3 of these sheet pans for $65 instead of $77. The cookie lover gift set, this one is a great idea. And that rolling cookie cutter, is everyone who's ever purchased it from me absolutely loves it. And now we've got a couple of attachments that brought out last fall to add to that. So you can upsell by giving them, selling them the case and other extra wheels to go with that. That's $70 for those instead of $80. And then this is the Ultimate House gift set. That's got the Halloween and the Christmas with the gingerbread molds. So that's super cool. And you don't have to do gingerbread. I saw someone say they could do sugar cookies and other things like that. You just want to watch what type of sugar cookie you do. You want it to be like the cutout cookies, not like the store-bought sugar cookie roll, because it's too soft and it would not stand.
And you can add extra flour to it. That is what I always tell people. And I've seen ones, and there's, I think, pictures of them on the website too, of them made out of Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah, they did that. Then they had them light up. And I'm like, that's crazy cool. That's more Pinteresty than I am, but okay. So those are the 5 gift sets. And like I said, this is available through December 31st. So I think that's just kind of a gift wrap, easy done. And that cookie mold set is really not bad for $50 instead of the $61.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's pretty cool. And so on the bottom of that flyer, like I was saying before it actually loaded, there's the Disney items again, and then there's the sauces. So this is a great one sheet to print off and put on the back of your lap boards if you do that at your parties, or just to post on your just virtual shows, etc. All right, so there's that. Any questions on that, anybody? Sharon, hold on. What, Sharon?
They're good now through December?
Yeah, it's good now through December 31st. Yes, ma'am. They started October 1st.
And is this all on a flyer? Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, this is all a PDF flyer that's in marketing imagery. So let me go back to marketing imagery.
Yeah, that'd be really good to have, to give people, put in packets and stuff.
Exactly. So yeah, it would be a good thing to have. So see, this is just a marketing imagery thing, and you download it. It is a PDF, so you would have to scan it and put it on. If you wanted to show this whole thing on the internet, you'd have to scan it and save it as a different type of file, but because it's a PDF. But you can easily do that, so that's not a problem. There are some other pictures of those on different groups. So if you need something, let me know. I might be able to find them. So the other thing too is if you go into your shopping and pull up any one of those sets, you can get an individual picture of the set that way as well. And if you guys want to, I can show you how to do that. Okay, so then the other big news, ta-da! For those of you who've been around for a while, you already know. For those of you who are brand new, here you go. These are amazing, and you will sell them this fall if you talk about them. The cinnamon has been, both of these went out about the same time, and I want to say it's been almost 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And so the cinnamon is $12 and the vanilla is $39. Don't panic when you hear that. If you go to the grocery store and you look at pure vanilla, you're going to find out that it is going to be around that price, if not higher. I saw one for $50 or $65 one time and about lost it in the grocery aisle. But this is double strength. So what you need to know with this, because you need to talk to the people who buy it and make sure they understand that when it says a teaspoon of vanilla for your cookie recipe, you need half a teaspoon, which means this is going to last a long time. This is a limited sell as well. These are only available till December 31st. I think they're kind of trying the market out again to see if they are going to sell as much as we've begged for them back. But it's also kind of more of a holiday thing, so they wouldn't have to stock them year round. So there's probably multiple reasons behind that. So either way, you want to make sure people have a brand new bottle in their cabinet before the holidays are over, before the year ends out, so they have enough to get them through till next fall when they can order them again, hopefully. So for people who used to buy them, you can print out a list from your consultant contacts and find all the people who've ever purchased this, a purchase history order, and find out and contact them and let them know this stuff is back, because they will probably be your first ones to reorder. And
I was so sad when they got rid of this stuff. I'm telling you, I bought a bunch of it and made it last as long as I could. But when I used my last drop of that vanilla, I was just sick.
Well, and I actually have a bottle of the cinnamon. I found somebody who had some and they sold me a bottle. So I actually just opened a brand new bottle of the cinnamon right before these, before we got this notice, like 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's here. My son is so funny. He's 19 and he likes to help cook. And I'll sit there and say, okay, what do you think this needs? And every once in a while he'll be like, I think it needs some cinnamon. And so I would get the cinnamon out, and he puts cinnamon in it. He's actually usually right on point with that. One of the neatest uses for that is to use it on grilled chicken. When you bake chicken, you put a bunch of different seasonings on there and let cinnamon be one of them, and it makes this savory, almost sweet taste to your chicken. It's pretty incredible. So there's also a couple of recipes on here and different ideas on Consultant's Corner as well. There's a cinnamon caramel cheesecake square recipe, and it uses one of our bar pans. So yum. All right, so that is the most of what I wanted to talk about as far as products itself. The other thing, if you have not already seen, then you need to see, open both eyes. This is an anniversary special for our kits. So it's our 39th anniversary, which you guys have heard us mention before, and we have a $39 kit. So they did not create a separate, different kit for this. They took our starter kit and knocked it down to $39. They took $60 off the price, and it still has all the original stuff that comes with it. Then they took the other kits and knocked them down as well. They basically took $60 off of just about everything is what they did. And so the deluxe kit's only $99, and then the ultimate kit is $199. And if I'm not mistaken, we need to find the flyer. I don't believe there's any problem with using your kit credits on either one of these.
There's not. But if you do $50 kit credit to cover the $39, you don't get the $11 back.
No, you don't get anything back. It would just basically be a free kit. You have to sell enough to get the $50 worth. But yeah, like your sales would have to be enough to cover that.
Well, I guess you could get an $11 item.
No, you can't. It's $39.
Oh, that's right.
And that's it.
That's right. That's
It would
right.
be like getting money back. You can't do that.
Yep, that's right. I wouldn't think
so. Yeah, but so here's the thing, you guys. Again, it's not similar. I mean, it's very similar to the whole starting it for free. But this time, they don't have to go to $1,250 in sales to make their money back. This is, you start for $39. You start for $99. You start for $199. So here's something to point out to people, and I'll show you something I put up. If you guys want it, you can have it. I gotta find it. I swear things go quick. I make a lot of stuff, so it goes away quickly. So this is a Canva picture that I put together on this with that same picture I just showed you, and happy 39 Pampered Chef. Join the family and celebrate. And then I have the prices here, and then I have a note that says the quick cooker is $240. This kit is $41 less than the full price for the quick cooker, and you get everything else for free. So if you really work on that and you talk to people about that, oh my gosh, there's a ton of stuff in there, and they're getting all of it for free when they buy a quick cooker, actually less than that. So if you guys want this, I'll post it. You guys are welcome to use it. But it's a great thing to talk up, you guys, and it's a great time to talk up trying on the business. We all know the normal excuses, the whys, the hows, the whos, but another thing to mention is that it's the end of the year, and so it's a tax write-off to start their own business. There's reasons to get started on this too, because it's our best-selling season, and it's a great time to get people excited about it, and that'll get them enough business booked into the first of the year. Sometimes starting in January is a hard thing to do, so if they start now, they have some momentum to go through that. April, any other ideas you can think of with that?
I mean, it's an amazing deal. We're just on our team trying to have 39 people sign up for $39 for the 39th cool. anniversary. That's a lot. That's more than we've ever done in 1 month.
Yeah, but if you shoot for that and you get half of it, oh darn, you know. Yeah. I mean, so shoot for this. Why not shoot for the stars and end up on the roof?
Yeah.
You know, I think that's a great idea. Any questions for anybody on that has any ideas or questions on this? All right. The other thing that I wanted to touch base on just briefly is Enrichables, because it's here. Has anybody had any subscriptions start up yet? Raise hands. Anybody? Not yet? Okay. So just you. All right, let me get back to that. So I can post information about a call on Gold Diggers if you guys are interested. It was a call right after conference. It was I just went totally blank. Julie Gizzy that was on the call. I believe it was Julie Gizzy, and she's a big health food nut anyway. And she posted different comments and questions. She was one of the people that was on the research team that did that. And so she was talking about some of the ins and outs with Enrichables. So one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it is I've had a couple of things come across my path that I was kind of shocked from people's responses. I actually had a consultant that was very concerned about some of the issues with it, and then a couple of other people as well. So here's one of the things that I wanted to mention. I got a chance to go through some training a couple weekends ago, and one of the things that was mentioned several times was addressing your fear and getting past it, and that has to do with success in your business and even just stepping out to talk to people outside your comfort zone. And for some people, talking about something like this will be that step outside of your comfort zone. One of the hangups can be, if you haven't used it for a long time yourself, how do you know any results? One of the great answers to that is, we're not promising results. This is not that type of product. There is nothing we're promising that will happen for this, except that you are going to have more nutrition in your life. I mean, you know, this is a chance for you to add some more nutrition to your meals. It's not I mean, if they turn around and eat a gallon of ice cream after this, it defeats the purpose. So we're not promising any healthy outcomes or anything like that. We're not promising weight loss or anything like that. It's not that type of product. And that's something that people do need to understand. This is not a supplement. This is not a replacement. This is an ingredient to help with your meals. And I liked that wording because an ingredient is different. It's not any different than selling them as seasoning. But at the same time, it is slightly different because there's no flavor change to this. It's a nutrition change, if that makes any sense. So with the kale and fiber, again, just the two ingredients, and with the pea protein, it's the yellow pea protein, just that ingredient. There's nothing else in there. And you're doing this to enrich their meals throughout the day, but break it down monetarily. If they were to sit there and get one box, it's $29. That comes to $2.42 a packet. That's not a whole huge chunk of change to add to a meal to make it a little bit more healthy. Okay. If they decide, and that's 12 packets, so that's 3 packets a week for a month, for 4 weeks. Okay. If you get both packets, that breaks it down and knocks the price down to $2.02 per packet. So even better cost per meal. That also doubles how many meals though. So that's 6 meals a week for 4 weeks, which means pretty much once a day you're using this in a meal. And it doesn't have to be a dinner meal. You guys can add these to omelets, to smoothies, to lunch, dinner, whatever it happens to be that we're adding them to, and it brings that in. So sometimes people are like, well, you have to add it only to smoothies. Well, no, of course not. We've talked about that. You can add it to your pasta dishes. You can add it to your meat. If your kids are picky, and I would be careful with the whole, in my opinion, I'm going to state that from the beginning, lying to your family about what you're putting in their food. That can bite you in the backside in some respects. But if it's there and you don't say that, you're not hiding it, you're just not announcing it. Does that make sense? It's kind of a weird fine line. I get it. But like, you're making sloppy joes because your kids love sloppy joes. You're going to put the kale and fiber in the meat while you're cooking it, and then you're going to sauce it as normal. And from what everybody has said, it's completely undetectable. I have not tried it in sloppy joes yet. But if you add enough ketchup or barbecue sauce or whatever it is to your sauce, even if you buy the jarred stuff, it's not, there's enough flavor there that you shouldn't have a problem seeing that. And it's not going to turn green because beef is black, dark brown. So those types of things. If you're putting it in your pasta dishes and other things like that, there's so many different options. And I like that factor that we have options. It's not just one of those things that's on the counter that you're buying a protein powder and you got to put it in your smoothie. And whether you like smoothies or not, you got to start choking these down. And I say that because there are some mixed drinks out there, some shake mixes and some other things that you have to choke it down. They're awful. And that's not the case with these at all because of how many different options you can have. So that's an exciting thing. And I think when you break down the money and show them that way, it makes it more feasible to do it, and it actually should help increase their food budget because they're not having to buy as much stuff that they're going to throw away, or it's as much stuff that's just a filler. Because the fiber and the protein with these, because you're doing it throughout your day, are going to make you not as hungry as fast, which is what they target. So any questions with that?
Have you eaten some of it?
I have done the pea protein. I have not done the kale and fiber except for one recipe, and I couldn't tell it was there. And the pea protein I've done a couple of different times, and I can't tell it's there at all. As a matter of fact, we used it in the nacho cheese sauce, and I had no clue.
I've heard about people putting it in stuff at shows and then telling people it was in there, and that they couldn't tell that there was anything in there. But
yeah, I've seen several comments and people said they've done that. One of them is the chocolate lava cake. to put the kale and fiber in the chocolate lava cake, and people don't have a clue it's there. And I'm not surprised by that, because avocado brownies, the zucchini brownies, different things like that have those things in there, and people never know
Special
it's there.
brownies.
Yeah, well, special brownies. We're putting different fiber in those.
There you go.
So I'm not surprised by the chocolate cake. Chocolate seems to hide a multitude of ick.
Have you tried the protein in like a smoothie? Because I heard somebody say that it was more gritty.
I have not. That's something I do want to do, but I also was trying to figure out if I was going to do like a whole packet or a half packet. I would think probably about a half packet.
Yeah.
And I did.
What I've seen is
the
the whole packet makes it gritty. What makes it gritty is if you put a whole packet, but that's like intended enough for a whole family for servings.
Right. It's a whole recipe,
really
not
need,
necessarily a single portion.
A fourth
yeah.
to a third probably of a pack.
Something like that. And then part of it too is did they add it right at the end, or did they add it in the beginning when they're doing all the other blending? I believe one of the comments that I read was the longer you blend it, the better it is, because it has more of a chance to dissolve. So if you started off in the beginning, obviously with our blender, don't put it at the bottom. You want some liquid and then the powder and then your banana or whatever you're putting in there, so it doesn't clump at the bottom. But yeah, the longer you have it in there and going, the better off it will, and the more of it has a chance to dissolve. I have put some in the tomato basil soup. No clue. It's there. And actually, I probably should have put the kale and fiber in there, and I didn't even think about it, but I'll do that next batch. So I love making the tomato soup in that blender. Let me just tell you.
I did hear another comment about the kale and fiber causing gas.
Well, I'm not surprised by that, because kale can do that.
Well, fiber can too.
Yeah, the fiber can too, and any of the greens. So I'm not surprised by that, but it depends on how much of it you eat. And if you ended up doing it in every meal because you're excited about just getting it for like the first few days, you're probably going to have some issues with that.
Yeah, I would think so.
And it depends on how much of the batch too. If you put it in a batch of soup and you eat the whole batch of soup,
yeah,
it depends on how sensitive your stomach is too. I can see that. If you have to, then knock it down and do half a packet in a batch of soup and do the other half the next time. It's still, even a little bit of it is there. And now one thing that somebody else said was, okay, but you're talking about 10 grams of protein and you put it in an entire batch of soup, for example, and you've only had one bowl, that means you're not getting 10 grams. No, you're not. But there's no protein to speak of in tomato soup. So that's better than none. And that's the whole point, is if you have meals where you're not going to have a lot of protein, it's better to have some throughout your day and stretch it out than to have like one big gangbuster piece, meal at one time and then run out of energy for the rest of your day. The other thing to think on this, one of the other things that was said at this training I was at, was if you're continually doing the same thing over and over again because it works for you, and you don't want to try something new even though you're being told this is the trend or this is what's popular right now or this is working, then when things stop working, you have no one to point fingers at except yourself. So the example with that was talking about virtual in particular, but it would be an example for this as well. If you're just doing one type of show because it works for you and you don't want to try anything else, you need to step out and try other things. You need to do that so you can talk about it to your teams, to your customers, and so you have options with your business as well. And then it was said very distinctly, if you are not doing virtual, start doing virtual. I cannot reveal who said that, but it was amazing. And it is very true. And we're all kind of in that path anyway. So it's not like it's a surprise to hear that from us, but it was the same thing mentioned about the enrichables as well. This is something where 82% of the general population right now is ordering stuff online. And that's a big chunk of people. And we're missing an opportunity if we don't talk to them. The other thing to talk up is that it's free shipping on all of their refills. So then the cost for them is even less. And they have complete control. We are not signing them up. They get a website link and they do it themselves. Have you guys seen how to get to the website link? Let me show this. So when you're at the top of your marketing imagery or whatever, when you're just in your home corner, hit home, however you want to do it to know you're there. 2 lines down is subscriptions. When you click on that, it will load up your subscriptions and you have a link right here, copy Enrichables link. And when you do that, it's good to copy and paste it wherever you want. And when somebody puts that in and clicks on it, it's going to take them to your version of the Enrichables website to where they are now on your page. You'll see your consultant picture over here in the corner. And then it'll walk them through information about Enrichables, all the different things that it's not, does have more information for that. And then it walks them through setting up and ordering, how to enrich your meals. There's different options there, recipes, etc. And then it gets them, it even mentions, possibilities of hosting a party. So it mentions everything on here, and then it'll walk them through getting it. Once they click on one of those, then it'll start talking them through how to set up and get ready to roll with that. So everybody has their own individual unique thing. And basically what it is it's www.enrichables.com/your same ending that you have for your personal website. Or you can go do like this was up here. So either way, but that gets you through it. So again, you click on subscriptions, you copy the link, and you send it out. And then eventually it'll tell you how many subscribers you have. I haven't even subscribed myself yet. But yeah, so that's where you go. All right. So they have control if they need to skip a month, if they need to order extra, however that happens to be, they've got the control. They've got the power. We do not. All right. There was one other thing I wanted to talk about. I think, let me go back to marketing imagery. I don't know if it was Enrichables that I saw below. Oh yeah, I want to talk about that, or if it was one more thing. So let me look. Yes, the other thing is this is October. So this is our Help With Cancer Month. So we are going to partner with Hope Lodge again this year. And we're going to do the fundraiser with them. So when you set up a Help With Cancer fundraiser, the money will go to Help With Lodge. And that's the housing places near treatment facilities for the families to stay at. They've got kitchens, living rooms, all that kind of stuff, so they can sit there and support themselves and take care of themselves at no cost to them while they're visiting with their family or friend that's going through this treatment. So they're great facilities. There's one in St. Louis. There's a couple of others throughout the country. And you can click on, there's a link inside our page where you can sit there and you can find out more information on the lodges themselves and how you can connect to one close to you. So go for it. It's a great cause. Hold on. I like the fact that we're doing this because this reaches all cancers. It's not one particular type. And that's a good thing right now because there's a lot of other ones that are starting to get a little bit more attention and a little bit more fundraising for them and help support them. I like that a lot. So that's October. There is also, let me see if I can find it real quick. Sorry guys, I got a tickle in my throat. I've been talking too much, I guess. There is a flyer that's out here. I'm not sure if I can find it fast. It was for Feeding America, and it's there's several sets that we can buy that will go towards Feeding America, and where contributions go to them. So I have a flyer in here because I created it. Let me see if I can find it really quick. And then I'll go back out on our page and show you guys how to get to it. I've been busy making things, can you tell? Where'd it go? There we go, Bake to Give. All right, so they've got, this is a regular fundraiser throughout the time, but so fundraisers in general go to that, but then there's different bits and pieces you see in here. It says hunger affects more than 40 million Americans, including 1 in 6 kids. We're partnering with Feeding America. So there's different ways to do that. From September 1st through February 29th, each product purchased helps provide at least 10 meals to Feeding America. And there's a list of products that they will include in that, but it is definitely these 4, I think is all of them. Yeah, this is all of them. So it's the donut pan, the mini loaf pan, the mold set, and the little boat set down here. So yeah, so talk those up too. So while we've got the Help Out Cancer stuff, we also have this going on. And with it holiday baking season, that's a perfect time to talk that up and get that out to people as well so they can be contributing to Feeding America. Definitely one of those passions that's near and dear to my heart.
Did you see anything about that set, if the money goes to that too? Because all of those items, or 3 of them, that are in that baking item.
Well, these are different parts of different sets. So this is one set and this is a different one. So
yeah, well, I was talking about.
Yeah, I'll have to see the holiday sets.
Yeah, because it's got 3 out of 4 of those are those items, and I wonder if they still get the $3 donation or not.
I will find out because I don't know. I noticed that when I was looking at it, and I don't know the answer to that. So let me find out.
I've not seen anything about it, and I've kind of looked around some, but I didn't dig real deep.
Yeah, and it's something I wouldn't dig for right now. You guys don't want to watch me flip around pages, so I don't know how they would.
I'm kind of thinking they're not.
They may not be because it's a different item number, so it wouldn't hit that same pile. But I'll find out.
But sometimes
I've got to talk to Home Office.
there's sometimes a star down at the bottom, you know, a little bitty message that says, you know, something like that.
On where?
At the bottom of the flyer, it might have a little bitty message that
This
says
one here?
money still goes, yeah, in very small print.
It just said,
no, not on there.
not on that one.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's not. Yeah, what I'm saying is looking on that flyer, that's where it would be. So I'm thinking that it's not.
Yeah, but it doesn't even have any like exclusions apply or anything on that one either. So it doesn't mean it's not.
Well, that's true.
All right, so where would I love the new website. I'm having a hard time finding things though.
I'm liking it though. I'm starting to find
liking
stuff easier. There's some things that are kind of hidden a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. And in effort to keep this short and simple, I'll look for it and I'll post and let you guys know.
Thank you.
Versus having me dig around for it. Any questions or anything else you guys want to see?
And the main reason that we've decided to talk about this tonight, and Kara, thank you for doing the content,
Sure.
is that, you know, having a really strong October is really, really important for having a strong rest of the year and a strong January. And so if we're not doing, maximizing what's going on with this, we're not going to have a strong October, which will impact November and December and January. And so, you know, it's like you just really need to work on trying to maximize them as much as we can. We all do.
Consistency is one of the worst words in the world, and it's also one of the most important words in the world, especially when it comes to sales.
Yep.
It is a word that I have to keep in front of my face regularly. I did this thing a couple years ago. John Gordon talked to us at one of our retreats about our word for the year, and I picked consistency as mine a couple of years ago because I'm horrible at it. But what we do right now affects us 60 to 90 days from now. And so if we're not doing a whole lot of anything right now, we cannot be upset with ourselves in January when our business tanks. So we have to keep going with things. We have to do. That's why we talk to you guys about so many contacts a week and so many phone calls a week and so many bookings a month, et cetera, et cetera. Because if we get out of that habit or pattern, then we have to basically start all over again, and it sucks. So keep going, keep plugging at it. Even if you're not as close to Disney as you want it to be, or close to your monthly goal as you want it to be, always overshoot. Plan your numbers bigger. We talked about April's group trying to do 39 recruits this month. Shoot for 39. If you make it, great. If you make it even more than that, even better. If you don't make it and you get 25 or 38, oh my gosh. Would there really be a problem with anybody? We got 38 recruits instead of 39?
Or even 8.
Right, or even 8. Right now I'll take 5. But yeah, so you just always want to keep going and stay as consistent as possible, because this is a business. It's not a hobby. If you want to treat this as a business, then treat it as a business and go from there. And I'm speaking to the choir, not just to everybody else. I have to do that as much myself every day as anybody else, maybe even more than some of y'all. So thank you so much for meeting up with us tonight. Next week, we're going to have vendor events. We're going to talk about vendor events and how to set up a booth and what's recommended. The gal who's doing it is Mary. She's been on here a couple of times with us. She is my accountability partner. She and I have been doing it for a couple of years together. And she does huge events. She does like Taste of Wisconsin, like huge events, weekends, all weekend long, with thousands of dollars in sales and tons of recruits and leads and different things like that. So she's got a pretty good pattern down. And we're going to also get a couple of other people with some different input on that as well. And then start commenting on, I'll put a post out on Gold Diggers, anything else you want to spend some time talking on, because us directors always brainstorm and think of what we think you guys want, but we don't always know exactly what you want unless you tell us. So I'll put that out there and you guys can give us some ideas so that we can carry us through the rest of the year. So after the vendor events, we're going to talk about wish lists and gift sets, wish lists and gift sets. That did not come out right. And then probably a little bit more those two areas towards the end of October, and then we'll figure out what we're doing for November. So give us some ideas. Cool beans.
Awesome.
All right, I'm gonna hit stop.